Hello and welcome. In this video we are going to look at one of the features of Creo Insight extension, namely the Creo as a Service feature. This feature allows to use Creo as an analysis computing resource and retrieve its result directly in ThingWorx. We can also use this feature to realize a digital twin where the sensor from the physical model are sent to Creo via ThingWorx with real-time update in Creo. So let's get started. Here is my simple engine model in Creo. We have two sensors defined. One is of type measure and will take the input from ThingWorx. The other is of type calculated and will send the result to ThingWorx. This calculated sensor holds the results of a measure analysis defined in Creo to check the clearance between the top of the cylinder and the top of the piston. In terms of setup, we mostly need to update the service config properties file to indicate the URL to ThingWorx, the user and password, or the app key if using. We also specify the name of the analysis provider that has been created in ThingWorx Analytics Manager. When this is done, we can start the Creo agent and we should see the Creo remote thing connected in ThingWorx. We can then go in ThingWorx Analytics Manager. We can first confirm that the name of our provider is indeed the same as the one in our properties file, and we create a model. Here I am using a zip file that contains the Creo model, but you can also use model stored in Windchill. When we press the Save button, the model deployment occurs. This takes a bit of time, and the settings model deployment timeout in Analytics Manager made it increasing. Once deployed, we need to enable this model and we can create the analysis event. For the analysis event, we select the thing that represents our model in ThingWorx and choose the provider and the model we just deployed. Next, onto the mapping. Here we specify which property of the thing are mapped to the Creo model sensor. So here our measure sensor is used as input and the calculated sensor is used as the result. Let's not forget to enable this event and we can now simulate new value incoming for our input sensor. Here I simply manually change the property value, but in a real scenario this will come from an actual physical sensor on a real engine. As we refresh the property page, we can see that we've got the result of our analysis available right away in ThingWorx. So far all happened in the background as far as Creo is concerned, but we can change the setup by removing the No Graphic option in Creo start build file. We then stop and restart the agent. Then we can simulate incoming data and see the operation executed automatically in Creo. Here again I use a service to send multiple values to the property. In a real scenario this will come from the actual engine moving in real time. This allows to not only have the output of the analysis but also have a live view of the Creo digital twin. This concludes this short demo on Creo as a Service. I hope you enjoyed it.